Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. You join me here on a sort of gloomy old early December morning here in the UK, but it's not raining and it's fairly warm. The job I've got to do today, there's no wood in it actually. I've got a set of gates I've put in between this garage and this curved garden wall here. Now, I've had the gates made. My daughter's boyfriend's family are farmers, but they also got a services division, and they've made these gates for me. And you can help me out at the end of the video, decide how much you think these gates are worth, because at the moment they've kind of not charging me. So there's no issue there. I think they sort of said they're maybe going to have them in exchange for my daughter, but I'm wondering whether, you know, I could have got them plus a bit of cash my way in exchange for my daughter, but we'll talk about that later. The gates are basically made out, if I just turn the camera around, nice heavy duty gates. We've got 100 by 50 box section, lovely welded together. We've got these 25 by 50 braces in them, and these are set 25mm back. Now they are this post here. I'll just nip round here. So this post here, when we put the footing in for the wall, this post here, this 4x4 post, goes 2 foot down into the ground. And I've obviously, when I got these gates, I sort of shimmed them up into position, and then I welded on these lugs here. This gate post is slightly different, and I can just show you this before I cover this in. This again was built by the services division of these guys, and what they've done is done this 100mm post, and we put these 25 by 50 wings on, which I've resin anchored, and they obviously, being 25mm, they're going to sit in the line of the battens for the featherboarding. So basically what that does, it makes a really nice, strong, and I didn't show you it because I've covered it over, but there's one more lug on that side, so that is really rock solid. So I've just got to put those battens back on there and re-clad that. I've taken the cladding off, that's all there. Issues I face, let's have a look. The issues that I face are, well, the main issue really, oh sorry, I will also say, these gates have then been galvanised. They galvanised them for me, and then what I've done is I've painted them in like an exterior, black satin paint. So one of the biggest issues I've got here is literally the sheer weight of them. Now, I should just about be able to lift this gate off. I think it's about 100 kilos, maybe a bit more. I don't know, I haven't weighed it, but it's heavy. I should just about be able to lift it off without breaking my back and lay it down on the stools. But when I fit, and I'll show you, it's here, the boarding that I've got to go in it, I'm not going to use timber because I don't want it to rot. I've got this composite decking, this hollow composite decking. Now, it's not that heavy, but it's still going to be probably, there's 9 boards going in each gate, 9 boards wide, so it's probably going to put another, I don't know, 40 or 50 kilos on. So the problem I've got is that I can probably manhandle them onto the stools. What I'm going to say is, you might be thinking, why don't I do them in position? But I want to cut all the boarding, lay them out and space them equally, because I've managed to work it out so there's exactly a 6mm space between every single one, and it's all full boards. It's going to be really difficult for me to do that when they're standing up, so I want to take the gates off, lay them flat, and then I can put all the boards on, get them all in the right position, and then fix them down. That's sort of one issue. The other issue is I couldn't quite get the fixings that I wanted, so I've got some 4.8 by 38mm timber to steel fixings, but the trouble is the little self-drilling tip on them is too long, and they can only clamp down to about 22mm. So the thread, including the head, is only about 22mm, and this boarding, wherever it is, this boarding is 25mm, so they're no good. So I've gone for the next size up, which is 5.5 by 50. Of course, the trouble is, if I'm going to fix here, this is 25mm, and I'm putting 25mm on the front. The 50mm screw is going to hit the inside of that box section before it's flush. So what I might have to do, is I'm going to pre-drill them anyway. I might have to pre-drill them and then get my angle grinder and snip off the drill bit section of the screw, which might be a bit tedious, but I can't see of any other way. They were the screws I wanted to use. So anyway, I'm waffling on. Let's see if I can manhandle these gates off here and get them set up on some stools. Let's go. I haven't got a clue what's going to happen. I'll put some carpet on the top of the stools because I don't want to damage the paint, and a bit of foam on the floor. So let's see. You might witness me breaking myself. Here we go. Let's lift. get it up on the end there first. Oh, it's heavy. Right, here we go. So far, so good. Right. Still in one piece. Here we go. Keep your back straight, girl boy. Okay. Right. Right, now I've got to lift it up. Get that stored in. There's these times when I wish I had a helper. Here we go. Here we go. One hand. What are we doing? Bit of foam's in the way now, isn't it? Here we go. Straight back. Straight. Oh, it's not too bad. It's okay. Okay, here we go. Hold your fingers. Oh. Yes. Right. A little bit tickling. Get that foam out of the way. Get that carpet on. And we can start to get the saw out, cut some of that board up, and start putting it on. Nice one. So it's only I'll be lifting it off. I'm going to have to, if I can find them, I'm going to have to call the A-team or something. There we go. That's great. So that's it. Both those gates are set up now. They're nice and solid. I'm happy. Dried them all off because they were a little bit wet. Set my sort of cutting station up over here and got the first bit of decking board ready. So all I'm going to do is find the measurement. I'm going to leave maybe like a little 5mm gap at the top, bring them down flush with the bottom, and then I'll cut. There's 9 for each, so I've got 9 boards. Each board's 3.6. I think these are only about 15 something. So I'll cut 9 and then we'll lay them all in and see how we can work out how we're going to maintain the gaps. I've got some little packers or something like that. So yeah, I'll cut a load of those and get them laid on. So I just showed you here, I've had to just cut a tiny bit of a chamfer off the back edge at the top for some welds, and just ease a tiny bit off the back of this board here and here, and I'll show you, look, just on these end boards, look, you can see, although I'm going to keep the board 5mm back, you've got quite a big weld there, quite a big weld here, and a weld at the top, so just ease those off with the disc cutter, so they should fit a treat now. So yeah, I'll just get that one done, and then I can get them all sat in, do the same, grind out the back of these ones, and then set the gaps up. Super, that is all of those boards cut and all spaced up nicely. We've got just about a 5mm gap in between each one. Now, obviously this is a decking board and I can't have them tight, obviously, because decking board being plastic expands and contracts. So I think when you put it down as a deck, you've got to have like a 5.5mm or 6mm gap. So yes, there's some gaps there. I'm not particularly bothered about the fact you can sort of see through it. If it bugs me, what I can do easily is just get some MDPE, rip down some MDPE black, and just thread it up into each of these grooves here and just make like a loose tongue. But I think it'll be all right. I think it'll look all right. But anyway, they fit in there an absolute treat, and a testament to the guys that made the gates. It's the 5mm packers fitted perfectly in between there, and at the top here, it was literally, look, I just had to put a tiny, what's that, not even a millimetre of rubber in, just to, so it was only like 0.5mm wider at the top than it was at the bottom, and on this one it was absolutely spot on. So they look really great. What I've done here is just sanded off this top edge. I just thought it might make it look a bit softer as you look at it sort of from the front. So that is all of them on now, and as much as I would have liked to try to fix them from the back, I don't think that's going to be possible. I think it's going to look fine if I set out my screws nice and neat and put a pair of screws in the top, all the way along the top, a pair of screws in the bottom, and then potentially I will fix the middle row from the back. I don't know. I'm not worried about the screws. The screws I've got are quite neat with the Torx head. I think they look all right. So what I'm going to do now is just do a bit of a test mock-up run. I've got some offcuts of this board here. Going to get my screws out, get a spare bit of steel from somewhere, and see what I need to do in terms of drilling, counter-drilling, counter-sinking. So let's do that next. I've just had a quick test run and actually really happy with how it's gone. I've got a counter-sink, 4.5mm drill bit, and then obviously I'm screwing these screws straight in, and actually I'm quite happy with that finish. I think that will look quite good. So get them in the same place. I can put a line across, maybe I'll put some masking tape on, I don't know, mark them all out accurately and start drilling them. It may take obviously longer. I certainly don't think I'm going to bother trying to see if that screw, those gates are fairly heavy gauge steel, so I don't think that this drill bit is going to drill into there, and it all gets a bit, when this is spinning around through this plastic, and end up get a bit warm, and I just think I'll stick to pre-drilling it. The only issue I have got, as I said, if we have a look at here, is if you see that screw there, when I put it into that 25mm thick box section, I think this tip is going to hit the inside of the box section, so I may have to try and find a way of, on the bottom rail, of just nipping that off with the angle grinder. Hopefully if I've pre-drilled it, it shouldn't matter. But anyway, pretty happy with that. Let's get some of those set up and get some of them screwed on. Got everything marked up. So what I've really simply done is put this level, it's about 25mm thick, 25mm wide, put that level up against these stops here, and then just drawn a line down it. And all I've done is come in 25mm each side. I put masking tape on it first. Obviously what I'm going to do now is put the pilot drill through all of these, then I can take the masking tape off, and then we can start drilling and screwing. Nice. I bought that countersinking bit cheap off Amazon. It's only a few quid. It's been really, really good. Right, here we go. Where it used to be. I'm sure. So look. Obviously, don't need to worry about the length of these screws, because you'll see later on the bit that the top flange is just a flange of steel, it's not a box section. So what I'll do when these poke to the other side, I'll just nip them off, and I've got some little rubber caps put over them. Yes. Nice. Right, how many more to do? So what I've actually decided to do is just clamp these down, just to keep them tight to the flange, because what I don't want them doing is if they jack up very, very slightly, the swarf from drilling it could get between the board and the flange I'm fixing it to. So And also it means that I can, the board won't move because I always put my hand on it, but I can have 2 hands on the drill, get more power. So I've got a lovely sharp Bosch drill bit, 4.5 mil. Lovely. Going really well. And then just, there you go. Straight in. Need to get a new bit holder that keeps coming out, but really happy with how that finishes. And I don't have to repeat myself, but although I countersunk it, these have got some sort of little ribs under the head, so it's meaning that I can just keep the finger on the trigger a bit longer and get it perfectly flush. So yeah, really happy. A few more to do on this top, then the bottom. So we're coming to this bottom now, and you can see what the issue is with these screws. Look, we've basically got the screw when it's flush. I'm trying to hold that when it's flush with the top of the board. Look, it's going to hit the inside edge of that 50 by 25 box section. So I think what I'm going to do is I pre-drilled it. So I think what I'm going to do is just nip that end off with a disc cutter, and then hopefully I only need to cut 5 or 6 mil off it. Hopefully it should be able to find its way into the hole. The other issue I've got is I've gone to pre-drill this hole, and unfortunately, as you can see here, when the galvanizer guys before they put these in, they hot dip them, they drill some holes in to let the air out, and I think right behind there they've drilled a hole. I should have checked really, but then I don't really want these offset, so I might have to see if I can find some extra longer screws of these to go right the way through the back there, and then just cut that off and tidy it up. I don't know, it's not ideal. And a similar issue up here, as you can just see through the back here, there's a diagonal brace that goes, as you can see, this top plate didn't come all the way through. It was cut into the back of the diagonal brace. So I think, again, that screw there, I think if you take a 45-degree line, I think I'm not going to drill it because I think it's just going to hit down the side of this 50 by 25. So probably have to put a fake one in there and maybe fix something up from the back. But I'm not that worried. That's a small problem to overcome. So let's nick this off and see if it'll find its way in that pre-drilled hole. Right, so I've just nipped the end of that off. So let's just keep our fingers crossed it tracks the hole I've already drilled. Oh, it's perfect, absolutely perfect. So yeah, really happy with that. So now it's a bit tedious, but I've just got to nip the heads off them before I put the screws in. I can get this done. Lovely. Right, they're all done, cleaned off, just a few little issues. Got to sort these screws out, not a problem. The frustrating part now for me is going to be that these are done, and what I want to do now is lift them off and put them back on, because I've got some bolts to put on. I want to trim off the screws. I'll show you. Look, you can see, can you see under there? Look, can you see those? So I'm going to just nip these off, and I've got these little 4 or 5 mil rubber caps that just go over them. Yeah, so frustratingly, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm going to have to see if I can make some phone calls if there's anyone locally that might be able to come and help me just lift these gates sort of back on. I'm going to finish this boarding. The other thing I've got to do, which is just one more little job, I bought this bit of, this is 12.5 mil nylon, 100 by 50. And what I'm going to do is fix that onto the bottom of, this is the gate that hangs on this post here. Now, as I said, this post is a 4x4 steel post, goes at least 2.5 feet into the ground, but there is a slight, tiny, slight bit of flex on it. So what I'm going to do is I bought this shoe. I bought this off eBay. It wasn't even expensive, and it's slightly chamfered. It's sort of 22mm at the front here and 25 at the back. And what I've managed to do is set the height exactly so that when this gate swings closed, it just rides up. This bit of 12mm nylon will just ride up onto this foot plate here and just support that extra bit of weight. I say I'm not worried about that. It's not like it flexes. I think when this gate swings open, I don't know if you can see, I've got to trim this. I don't know what the bricklayers did here, but I've got to trim that up. But you can see there's a gap there. It only opens out to about 1 millimetre or so, so it's not like it's wobbly, but I just think it's going to spend most of its time parked, so why not just help it a little bit. And I haven't done the same on this side for 2 reasons. A, that post is not going anywhere. That's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's got about 10 resin fixings into it. But also, one of the things I had to think about when I was setting out these gates is that there's a slight fall. It falls from that end to that end, but consequently, as it goes up the back of the garage, this monoblocking rises up. And again, I had to do lots of thinking and fiddling so that when this gate opens, it opens back onto the side of this garage, but doesn't hit the downpipe and leaves enough space to get a vehicle around the side here. The offshoot of it is obviously this monoblocking. As you can see, we've got a gully here, a drain here. This monoblocking rises up, so obviously as that gate opens, there's only about a 5mm clearance on the monoblocking here, so obviously I can't put it on the other one, and it doesn't really matter anyway. So yeah, I had to have a lot to think about. You know, I've had to keep these gates off the floor a little bit, obviously, because as that gate swings back, like I said, the ground raises up. So I'm going to fix this little bit of nylon, and then see if I can get someone to come out and play with me and help me put these gates on. Always, as I said, one of the frustrating things about working for yourself, you have to do all your own lugging around. If I'm on a big building site, or a site normally with some builders, there's lots of people to help. But anyway, waffling, let's get on with this. Nice. I was just doing a little bit more thinking to try and find a solution to the fact that this screw goes down into a hole that the galvanisers have drilled, and I've taken this one board off just to have a look, and I've had a look in my van, and every now and again if you get a load of raw plugs, I think these came with some radiators or something, but I thought I'll keep them rather than throw them. And actually what I've managed to do is get one of these plugs. It's about the right kind of diameter for that hole. So what I've done is cut it down a little bit, and I'm hoping if I can just hammer that in there, I'll get my hammer, if I can hammer that in there and cut the end of the screw off, that should be able to take a screw and hold that in. So fingers crossed, that might solve that problem. Right, I put the board back on, and I've taken the complete end off that screw. So let's have a look. I've got to be gentle, I know that. It's not going to pull like it does in the steel, but let's have a look. Is it going to go? Yes. Yeah. He's got it, but not pulled it down like I'd want, really. So, don't know. He's got it. I think I might try and get a bigger drill bit and make a. It's not pulling it down as much because obviously it's not got as much grip. So, just put a bigger drill bit in there and see if I can get that flush. I'll be happy with that. Got a big drill bit here. I've got to be really careful here. I don't want to go all the way through. It's only thin, so. See if that's gonna be better. Might be. Give it the old wiggle treatment. Yeah, I'll be happy if that just looks uniform like the others do. Yeah, look at that. So I'm happy with that. He's got plenty of fixing with the other screws are in it, so that's awesome. Yeah, that's good. Excellent. Right, so fortunately, in the next village along, the guy that I do a bit of kitchen fitting for, if you watch my videos, he's got a job in there, and Robin is part of the team, so I've managed to nab him quickly for 5 minutes. So we're going to see not what we can do. I don't think there's a decent link between us, is there, Robin? But anyway, no. we've got over 110 years of experience between us. So let's see, get these off these stools and lift them onto these pegs. So right to here. Right. So if you come towards me, yeah. So you can put that down. Beautiful. Now, obviously, okay. Yeah. So here we go. Let's see. The top's about there now. That's it, Robin. Yeah. You all right? Yeah. Oh. Right. Okay. Well done.
1, 2 time.
Yeah. Right. Let's just put that out of the way there. Right. How was that? Awful. Okay. Okay. Right, that's it. Lovely. Right. Whew. 2 broken old men. Thanks, Robin. We'll get him back to his job. Right, there we go. Robin was so local that I went to pick him up and brought him here. I've taken him back now, but there you go. 2 old men struggling, so I've probably edited a bit of that out because there was a bit of swearing. So they're on. Really, really happy with how they look, actually. So this is the sort of ugly side. So I'll just show you what we've got here in terms of screws. As we see, these screws are sticking out here. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, actually. I was thinking just nipping them off and putting these little black caps over them, but I'm wondering whether I could get a bit closer. I don't want to hit the grinder onto this because it's galvanised. I wonder if I could get a bit closer and then maybe just paint them in. So, but I'll have a think about that. I could get a bit of laminate or something with a hole in, you know, 1mm laminate like worktop edging, put that over there and just nip them off, and that might just be enough, actually. So the centre fixing, we've got a bit of flex there, look. So it is going to want a fixing in the centre, but I don't think I'm going to put it through from the face. I think worst case, I might drill it through from the back here, get like a black, you can buy like a black headed flange head screw or something, just to, I mean, it's not going anywhere, but I think that does want fixing. So yeah, really happy with that. Let's have a look. So it opens out. Oh, I've got a bolt, so I'm not going to show putting these on because it's pretty straightforward. Just going to put these sort of drop bolts in here. I'll put one in there and one on here, and then what I'll probably do, I will drill a hole in the floor to take the bolt, but I may well take this off and modify it and weld a little flange on it with a hole in so it all looks neat and tidy. So yeah, let's have a quick look. See, so as I said earlier, the key, and I don't think they're too bad, actually. Let's just have a look at the ugly side. Look, I don't think that's too ugly. I think that looks all right. So yeah, when this gate opens, I have got to adjust them, you see. I've got to adjust them a little bit, but when this gate opens, the paving raises up. So when this gate comes right the way back, you see, you can see there, look, it only just clears the floor. But what it does, it also, because of the way the hinges are, it throws it so it doesn't hit this downpipe. So, you know, pretty happy with that. Really happy with that. Let's go and have a look from the other side, the pretty side. Really happy with how it looks on this side. The fixings, you know, I'm happy with how they all look. It looks pretty neat and tidy. Yes, if you look up there, you can see in there, but I mean, you know, I'm quite tall. But anyway, I'm really happy with how that looks. I think it sits in there an absolute treat. So, not, you know, the gaps, you could say, you can sort of see through. As I said, this is decking, so it's in the winter at the minute, so it's shrunk, contracted. In the summer it will expand, so obviously you can't have these tight together. If the gap irritated me, as I said, I could easily get some kind of black nylon or MDP or something, take them off again, which I know is an effort, and just slide it up so to make it, to cover it, to fill that to fill that gap in. But anyway, look, yes, really, really happy with those. So there we go. That's that. There's no wood in it, I know. So technically not carpentry, but you know, I thought I'd show me doing it. There's a few little bits and bobs I've done that you might find interesting. And of course, what I said earlier in the video is, you know, whether or not I'm going to actually be able to get my daughter's boyfriend's family to accept payment for these gates, I don't know, or whether I just accept that, you know, I swap these gates for my daughter. This sounds a bit merciless like that, doesn't it? I mean, I wonder what I could get for my wife. No, I didn't mean that. My wife's amazing. So there you go. That's those done. That's been something I've been sort of planning for quite a long time, and now it's done. It really finishes this sort of front off really nicely. So there we go. I'll keep saying there we go. I hope you found it vaguely interesting, and if you did, thanks for watching.